And that was the grandmother sweep.
Welcome to the Swine Brothers Show, episode 138 for the 7th, I think, of February 2018. I think it's the 7th, might be the 8th, I don't know. It's the 8th where Jim is. You can email us at cosmicgodsdie@gmail.com. Facebook is Swine Brothers and Twitter is SwineBros666. I am your host, Elliot Lindemood.
I am the Jim, the seeing eye mutant, and doing shit extraordinaire, almost.
Before we go on, I have a couple announcements. First of all, thank you to the racing uploader Dave W for your non-constructive comment on one of our racing videos. You're appreciated. And hello to our new subscriber, Shane Mathis.
I have no idea how that works.
I don't know. We weren't exactly fans of his, but I'll be honest, I may disagree with his beliefs or whatever, but he actually has a pretty good taste in music. He seems to like old school death metal, which is what I'm listening to at the moment.
So this is something that a random alt writer posted, and I couldn't help but to laugh at this. There are so many angles which are funny to this. Atheism is maladaptive. This isn't breaking news, but it could use a little search engine optimization. Find something concise and easily digestible. And easily digestible proved difficult, so here it is. The following table shows by theistic orientation the mean number of children non-Hispanic whites aged at least 40 when asked have ever had. For contemporary relevance, all responses from 2000 onwards. About 6,693. Thoughts on God, atheist or agnostic. They had about 1.75 kids per household.
Well, everyone's agnostic because, I mean, even the person who's most sure of God can't actually, or not God, can't actually prove that God doesn't exist. Or does.
Uncertain believers have 2.02 children. And now for the firm believers in God, they have 2.38 children. That's the worrying number. A little over half a child more.
That's where, well, I mean, I don't want to. I have 0.00 children, so.
Yay.
What I want to know is what the hell they do with the other half. Oh, shit, we can't, we saw it in half.
You know, I'm half a kid. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Amputee midget porn is the best.
The show's not sponsored by amputee midget porn, but it should be.
Relatedly, mean age when the first one was born among these groups who have ever had a child, because TFR isn't the only thing that matters.
Torn Flesh Records?
About 5,450. The atheist agnostic crowd has average rate age at first birth as 26.7 years. Uncertain believers, the mean average is 25.5, and firm believer is 23.4, with most of those being underage, driving the number much lower.
Yes, it's funny story. Every pregnant teen in my high school was some sort of Christian, and when I pointed out that, well, doesn't this mean they're going to hell? They just looked at me blankly and went, "But God blessed me with a baby," and I'm like, "Yeah." And there goes your youthful life.
No, you sinned in the name of God. That's blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, bitch. That's an unforgivable sin.
Which is good.
If the religious shall inherit the earth, we're in trouble. And that's why I laughed. I'm like, okay, you're worrying about this.
Well, because people can't make up their own mind. I mean, I was raised in a sort of Christian Catholic house, and I wouldn't necessarily call myself a Christian or Catholic.
Empirically validating stereotypes since 2005.
Yeah, that you are validating stereotypes.
So, like, you want the pure white race to be atheist, and you're mourning the fact that it probably won't be. And
Well,
that
I mean,
believers in God typically have a higher chance of fucking someone that's not the same
well, a lot of
color.
I mean, with the Catholics, is they don't believe in birth control or abortions. So what do you think Catholic families are so huge?
All right. Let's move on. I just had to point that out because it was more than that. It was just like, okay, this is the idea you're trying to argue here, that you need to be atheistic or agnostic so that
From
way,
birth.
yeah, from birth, which, yeah, there's a higher chance the kid carries on the religious attitude, the theistic attitude of, the parents, but it's all still choice.
Yeah, people can make up their own mind. I mean, unless you live in a brainwashing cult, and even like the fucking Westboro Baptist Church guys, like even some of their kids broke out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all worried about over nothing. But then again, the alt right's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I just thought that was fucking great. Anyway, scene report: 12 killer bands from Pittsburgh.
Ooh, gotta open up YouTube for this. YouTube.
All right. Pittsburgh is a city misunderstood by those outside of the Three Rivers. Yes, it is true. We are not a love at first sight city, but we sure pack a little working class punch.
Now, the only band I know from Pittsburgh is Real Enemy, which is a hardcore punk band from the 80s, which had a song called Ward Street Hardcore.
Oh, God.
They were good. I like Real Enemy. They released a demo called Life with the Enemy. It's worth checking out if you like that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Don't contradict me, boy.
We love to revel in our oddities as much as we dwell on them. You haven't been from the area long.
Well, at least they're more stable than Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Granted, that was fucking hilarious. We're gonna destroy our city because we won!
And continue to remain incredibly difficult on ourselves and our identity as Pittsburghers. What the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, I know.
Incredibly difficult on myself and identity as whatever. Does this mean you're punching yourself in the face every day? Because if that was so, then I'd be normal. But I've been declared abnormal. So therefore that's not, what you meant.
But you don't really put you don't walk around with I'm a Pittsburgher or a Pittsburghian or whatever.
Bergian. I like that better. That sounds better.
Pittsburghian.
But we are now on the upswing. Punch him in the balls, Frederick. So what if we still like fries and coleslaw on the sandwich?
Well, fries is good on the sandwich. Coleslaw I've never liked.
I like it, but at the same time, he's making it sound like it's a sin. So what if
it is kind of weird.
No, fuck you if you think it's weird. I don't give a shit.
I know you don't give a shit, but it's
doing it. If you revel in the identity of being Pittsburgh, then you wouldn't regret eating shit like that. You'd just be like, this is good shit. I shall consume it.
Enjoy your coleslaw.
I go fuck yourself.
No, I can't. I have to do this show.
We are now seen as one of the best food cities in America. That's probably why we put the coleslaw on the sandwich, along with everything else. and giant sauces that gets all messy and just slathers everywhere. I'm gonna die of a heart attack. This is good.
Yeah,
You're,
I'll put
you're
more
acting like
bacon.
a fucking pure vegan here, going.
I'll have the bacon. You can have the coleslaw.
We have not only been named the most livable city in America on more than one occasion, but now also boast the coolest neighborhood in the country.
Centralia?
God, no. No, it's not. The people here are so lame. They're pathetic.
No, Centralia. Coolest place in the country.
Now, that would be a cool place, yes. If we're going purely by people, no, the people here are pathetic. I can't fucking talk to people worth shit around here.
But the
There's
people
like,
everywhere.
a dozen people, maybe, in this area I could talk to about certain things. But it's all different certain things instead of everything.
Yeah, like poison. That was funny.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. I think ACDC is heavy metal.
Really? To accept. It's like ACDC with more balls.
Pittsburgh is not the city you think it is.
I think it's the city with Jim in it. That's all I know, actually. Oh, and it had steel in it. And PPG's from Pittsburgh, which used to sponsor Indy cars.
It was much cooler back before you normies came along and went crying every 5 seconds. All right. Lucky for us headbangers, we live in an amazing city for metal. Buenos Aires. Yes. Let's see.
You live in a damn good state for metal, actually.
Yeah.
Some local band called Incantation.
Yeah, there we go. There's another good one. Let's see if that actually made the list.
Don't spoil it. Let's just do it.
We have never had a better scene than what we do at the moment. I've seen so many pitiful bands. Far more pitiful bands today than there were back in the 90s.
Well, there are far more. To be fair, there are far more pitiful bands because there are far more bands. It's sort of like.
Yes, but at the same time, it's the pitiful ones that everyone goes to see.
Well,
that has anything interesting in it, fuck that shit.
Here's what we're going to do. Jim has the reading thing, so I'm going to. This will probably take a little bit longer than a normal article, but if it comes to a band I have not heard before, I am going to YouTube it. I won't listen to the whole song, but
I'm just going to click on playing the YouTube thing that's in the thing here.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to go to that page then. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a second.
Okay. Because I feel like listening to this shit too. So.
I mean, it's sort of like what somebody said about the underground. Is that the underground's bigger primarily because there's just more bands. But there are still fucking several good bands out there. Okay.
All right. At times, we were tethered by a hardcore scene led by the Coors Records, Ross during the late 90s, and a wonderful extreme metal culture that allowed bands like Commit Suicide. Ever hear of them?
Yes.
Any good?
Yeah, actually, they did split with Misery Index. They're good.
Circle of Dead Children.
They're from Pittsburgh? I didn't know that. They were the first sort of grind band I ever heard. Joe Horvath and
to flourish in the early 2000s. Today, there are so many wonderful bands flying the metal flag high in this misunderstood city. Misunderstood, boo-hoo.
We're misunderstood because we're shite.
Yeah. Here's just a look at a few of our bands turning heads in the Steel City at the moment.
Okay, this first band I've heard of but never heard. Code Orange.
Code Orange.
So let's just. Boring. What the fuck am I listening to? Oh, that's loud.
No, thank you.
I actually fast forwarded through that. They're from. Wait, huh? How are they from? It says here they're from Germany.
Code Orange is Pittsburgh from Roadrunner Records.
Okay.
They have never hit.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. If it's Roadrunner, it's not on Metal Archives. That's how metal it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to see this just to. Because I actually found a band called Code Orange, but they're from Germany. So Code Orange, they're from Pittsburgh. Oh, metalcore. Yeah, that explains it. Yeah, metalcore.
Yeah.
Hardcore punk. I didn't hear any fucking hardcore punk in that. I fast forward through the intro, so I actually heard the song, and yeah, it was screamo.
I just heard the first. Yeah, and it was fucking your typical screamo
Right, it
bullshit.
was screamo. That was shite.
It epitomizes the Pittsburgh sound better. Abusive, gritty, unhealthy, and just so raw. It was none of those things.
It was not
None of
raw.
those things.
It was not raw.
It was
What
not
the
abrasive. It was kid friendly. Fucking shit. Gritty, fucking kid friendly.
I mean, I guess by gritty. Oh my god, it had a loud mastering job.
Yeah, fuck you.
So it is fucking Death Magnetic.
Unhealthy. Fuck you. That was vegan
Well,
as
it
shit.
wasn't. Well, it was sort of unhealthy in that I kind of feel like I want to vomit.
A fixture of the local hardcore scene for almost 10 years now. Good thing I never listened to it before, and I'll probably never listen to it again.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Hell, they even have a well-deserved German Grammy nomination to their name. Well, that explains it. They're winning a Grammy or have a nomination to the Grammys.
Yep.
Like 99% of anything that goes to the Grammys is complete shit.
Except for Slayer, of course.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, 99%. Code Orange is going to keep pushing walls down and continue to show the world what our bands sound like.
If that's what I mean,
if that's the best we have to offer, which I know it's not, but if it was, no wonder no one would ever
like
put
saying
in Pittsburgh.
Los Angeles is like its best bands are Poison or the glam scene.
Oh God. All right, Lady Beast.
Oh, I like this band.
Classic.
Yeah.
I'll have to listen to the rest of that later. That's actually very good.
I showed this to you years ago. I found, well, okay, about 6 months. I found this randomly just looking for metal bands, and yeah, I fucking they remind me a lot of like the Satan's Hollow and a lot of the other sort of heavy metal revival acts. I like them. They're really good, and they're from Pittsburgh apparently.
Power metal done right.
It's not power metal. It's
No.
Iron Maiden type.
Yeah, it's fucking. It's classic revision. But I'm not. These people don't know shit. So anyway.
Yeah.
Lady Beast is a ripping band producing righteous tunes and some air guitar worthy licks that will keep you shredding for days. I can actually agree with that. With their recently released album, Vicious Breed, a super cool cameo on CNN Parts Unknown this past October, and a recent feature in Decibel magazine, the metal world is taking a healthy notice to this group of battle vest clad headbangers. Given their trajectory, there may be 2 Grammy nominated metal acts from the city in due time.
Why are they so focused on Grammy nomination?
Because we all know the Grammys are shit. Fuck you.
I mean, really, well, like it's sort of like Eric talking about like people who want horror to be respected in the mainstream.
Oh, fuck that. The best horror is the shit that no one likes.
Right?
I've found. Oh god, and the fucking cult, the fucking B rates. Some of those B rates are just beyond fucking awesome. I mean, some actually do horror right, and others do it such a horrible disservice that you can't help but to laugh the whole way through because it's just this gleaming ball of fail that is completely awesome.
Well, that's
and
the
like
thing.
these are things that everyone shits on and says, I don't want to watch it. That's low brow. Fuck you.
That's the thing here. Is like if you get horror respected, then you get jump scares, and you get like what Lovecraft denied the editor of Weird Tales permission to use one of his stories in a radio drama because he's basically saying the masses don't know what horror is. The masses think horror is just random sounds, just conventional screams and.
Let your own mind play its tricks on itself. That's where the good stuff comes in.
Yep. Exactly. Give me a second. I've lost my place here.
Well, the next band is Argus.
Okay. I've clicked.
Okay. It was okay.
Well, I know these guys actually.
Okay.
This is old school heavy like doom metal. Actually, you only listen to the intro. You didn't actually listen to the actual song.
Okay. I'll come back to the actual song.
It sounds like
I started the first few seconds where this actual song started.
I usually fast forward to the intro. Yeah. Yeah, it's old school like doom metal.
Yeah, it is old school. I can tell that much, and it was decent. It was better than that first one by leagues, but it wasn't like anything that really popped out at me like the other track they had from fucking Lady Beast. That actually popped out at me.
I'll have to show you some more of it. I'll have to show you some more of their and look up more of their stuff myself.
All right. Lady Beast's fellow cruise to soulmates. Argus, bring a wonderful dose of power sludge to the terrible towel-waving masses. Powerful, memorable, and loud, Argus is a wonderful fixture in this city. Check out their recently released From Fields of Fire.
It's more doom than sludge. Sludge is more like crowbar, more feedback. It's sort of like, it kind of sounds like King Diamond minus the vocal acrobatics.
Yeah. Next band, oh god, Eternal Sleep. Let's see.
Hang on, let me. Okay, let's.
No, thank you.
Oh, what the fuck was that?
I made it 11 seconds.
I made it until the guy started singing. What the fuck is that?
Eternal Sleep's brand of disguising rock and roll is aggressive. Well, they're attempting to disguise rock and roll, but we know that's what it is. It's complete alt rock. Aggressive, unapologetic, and grittier than the others in the world. No, it is not.
That was not gritty. That was horrible. Horrible.
Oh, God. So we had one definite keeper, one possible keeper, 2 abject failures.
Wow. That was awful. Let me get me. I have to, because your thing is coming in really low. Like, I can hear everything through your speakers for some reason.
Oh, good. Forget the hardcore label. This is the kind of rock and roll that kickstarts engines on a cold Pittsburgh winter day. No, it's not. It's the thing that makes your fucking engine lock up because it's the oil has frozen because it's so pathetic and lame outside. In fact, it doesn't even deserve that designation because it's so pathetic and lame it can't even get anything flowing. It's like whenever you have a oil leak so bad that your engine just locks up because you just drained all the oil.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, who's next?
Hound, spelled with an H.
Okay, I'm going to mute you for a second.
Okay. Promising.
You've got to fast forward for about 48 before you actually get anything.
All right, that was okay. Hello?
That was meh, I guess. I don't know. I don't go for stoner metal that much, so
that's pretty much what it was. I mean, it didn't like really hit me hard.
It took a little it took, like I told you, like, because the intro's a little bit long, but it was decent, I guess.
Well, it's better than that. It's leagues better than that Code Orange and that fucking Eternal Sleep.
Yeah. Well, but that's not saying much.
Yeah, I mean it's listenable. I don't know.
Yeah, it's whatever. I might check them out. See what else they have.
Hound is a fantastic band on the way up, and 2018 should be the year that doom metal fans outside Pittsburgh start buzzing up this band.
I mean, I like doom. It's just I'm not really big into stoner metal. I pretty much consider Sleep to be a Black Sabbath ripoff.
Vocalist Shy Kennedy has her hands full running a label, Black Seed, as well as organizing the wonderful Descendants of Crom Festival. Yet that doesn't keep her from honing her chops as Whorehound's powerful voice.
Well, good for her. I mean, it wasn't bad. I don't
Yeah,
dislike it.
I don't dislike it. It's actually kind of like, okay, this is okay as
Yeah,
background.
yeah, it was. It was decent. So, and good on Shy Kennedy, who has a label and does all that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, you're better than two of the other bands they tried promoting here as metal, which neither really seemed like it.
No, well, I mean, and it's funny because Jim was making fun of me years ago for saying, oh, it's not on Metal Archives, therefore it's not metal. I mean, they actually have some pretty damn stringent criteria for this, so that's why I always look and no, it's not on Metal Archives, or
Solar Burn.
Okay, I don't mute you. I mute hearing you, so people at the on the audience can still hear. So I'm going to mute hearing you for a second.
Okay. Could go either way. Okay, it's an instrumental.
Do anything else other than a rock drum beat? Why don't you?
Yeah. I mean, it was just middling. Better than the two other bands. But I wouldn't say anywhere near as far as some of the other bands.
Well, it's okay. It is an instrumental band, which actually I think is interesting. There's not that many instrumental bands in metal. The only other one I could think of, other than like some shredders, is the British band Strategy, who released a 7-inch in the early '80s. It was, I mean, it was interesting. I'll have to check it. It was definitely better than the other bands, or the Code Orange and Eternal Sleep.
Yeah.
Not quite Lady
It didn't
B,
make me
but
vomit. I mean, I'd put it on par with the Whorehound that we heard.
I'll have to check some of their other stuff out because obviously we're just listening to one song.
And only a few seconds thereof.
I mean, I kind of skimmed through, and it had some interesting riff ideas. So I'll have to. It's definitely not offensive.
Yeah, it definitely didn't make me want to vomit. All right, Grey Walker.
Wait, let me get the. Okay.
Okay. I wasn't impressed, but it was decent.
It was what I would call decent metalcore. I mean, it was definitely not my style of music, too groovy and chorish, but as far as like that genre goes, probably one of the best I've heard.
Yeah.
Which isn't saying much, to be honest, but it wasn't horribly
A mellow death quintet.
Yeah, they're not mellow death. They're groove metal and metalcore. There's a difference.
That is slowly becoming one of the more talked about bands in Pittsburgh for all the right reasons.
Eh, it was generic. I mean, I've heard it. It reminded me of like
It was generic, but it was decent generic.
it was. You know what? You know what band it reminded me of, and Jim might kill me. But it reminded me of the band As I Lay Dying, which I consider one of the best bands in the metalcore scene. That's not saying I like them. I'm just saying I can listen to them and not think kill, 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 kill.
Or just kill me so that way the sound stops coming into my brain.
Yeah, it was inoffensive, sort of melodic death tinged, but it was more core. But I mean, if all core was like that,
that Code Orange and Eternal Sleep, that made me want to put a bullet in my brain so that my brain could finally be free of the torment.
I mean, if all core was like that, I would just consider the genre inoffensive. The problem is that most core is like Code Orange. So yeah, compared to the two, whatever the fuck band we just listened to, I can't even remember the name.
Oh, that was Grey Walker.
Grey Walker is, if you like metalcore or groove metal, check that band out. If you don't, then check that band out. I don't.
Next up is Complete Failure.
That's.
I hope this is not an ironic name. I hope that it's actually decent.
Well, I'll see you in 2 seconds.
Yeah. That was pleasant.
Well,
it was pleasant.
I like these guys, actually. I've never heard of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out more, see what the hell I think.
I'm just gonna read what it has to say for a second. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that band out.
Okay.
Much more, because that was pretty damn good grindcore. Little bit groovy.
It's funny, the shit they like praised to no end, but then you get like 2017 saw Complete Failure release a new album, Crossburner, on which they grew their grind-crusted influence extreme metal quite well.
It's a little bit groovy, but damn, I like it. Complete Failure is a good band. And no, I don't think it's ironic. I think it's just, hey, we're punks. We can say whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah. No, I was hoping that it was good, so that way, it'd be more than one of the things we're going to say whatever the hell we want, as opposed to, oh, look, Complete Failure is a failure. It wasn't.
There's 2 sentences of text.
Yeah.
There's 2 sentences of text for the good band.
Yeah, and then like the shit band,
Code Orange, they basically just came all over.
Yeah, they just kept coming over it and over it and over it.
Now my
Look at that wall of text versus for a shit band versus a good band has 2 sentences.
Sorry, cough. Blackfinger, I don't have high hopes for this band. I've never liked any band with the name Finger in it. Anyway, mute.
Generic, boring. Oh, God. And that just got more and more boring as it went on. Well,
That was whatever. I mean, it a little bit too rocky for my taste.
it just got more and more boring as it went on.
It sounds like Leonard Skinner trying to do doom metal. I mean, it's a little too rock for my taste. You know, I don't really go for the
it didn't make me go wretch and disgust, but it was like, this is just.
bands have done the psychedelic thing much better than this band. It kind of bored me, to be
I mean,
honest.
take some chances. I mean, fucking, what was that? I can't remember the name of the band right now.
Which one?
I forget. Never mind. Born from the ashes of Chicago's trouble, vocalist Eric Wagner relocated to the Steel City, bringing together a fantastic band.
I like Trouble. Trouble is a good band. So it's, I don't know. I'll have to listen to more songs, but it didn't really do it for me. Then again, we were just listening to samples, so it's, you know.
They might actually do something impressive, but it just sounded so tame that, like, I just grew more bored. It didn't challenge.
Which, I mean, you can do, like, Lady Beast is, you know, just standard heavy metal, but the way they do it with the energy, or like the psychedelic thing, like Jex Thoth or Savage, or not Savage, Sabbath Assembly, they do it in such an interesting way that, you know, but that was just kind of like, hey, look, it's the 80s again.
All right. Myers.
Okay.
Okay, that at least got me a little interested.
Yeah, I don't really do drone very much because most of them are like just
Depressive stoner doom is what they describe themselves as.
Metal Archives describes them as stoner / drone metal. I don't really do drone bands like Sun O, just or whatever the fuck Sun. You know what band I'm talking about, right, Jim? The Sun O, and then the fucking parentheses or whatever. They don't do it for me because it's basically like a jam band, but it reminds me of like a less emo Pelican. It's decent.
Adhoc EULA.
I actually like Pelican. Let me get to the thing. They're not even trying to type anymore. They're just fuck it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I hated that. Honestly, I hated it. Hated it. Hated it. Hated it. Hated it. Hate it.
I thought it was just okay. Nothing I'd ever invest in.
It was, ugh. Sounds like under fucking oath.
On the punk side of the heavy spectrum, Adhoc EULA took their name from the football referee with the guns, but it sounds like these guys have been doing the heavy lifting. Metalheads can dig their recent album Dream Warriors. I wouldn't dig it.
Didn't sound very punk to me.
Yeah, it was more punk, but
No, I said it didn't sound more punk. It sounded like a more wimpy hate breed.
okay, wimpy. Got you. Anyways.
Aggressive identity. I identify as aggressive.
Yeah, I identify as aggressive. Die!
Outside, inside. Oh my god. Do I have to? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we got an album coming out pretty soon.
All right, ACDC. I haven't heard that before. Especially, no wonder where that chick thought ACDC was heavy metal. You got people like this saying it is. No, it's not.
Eric, well, I'm going to ship this to Eric. Just give me a second here.
He'll probably like it, but
yeah, I know he will. That's why I'm going to send it to him.
Taking on the rock and roll side of the metal umbrella, no.
That's not metal.
It's not metal. Outside Inside take their name from a Blue Cheer album and are not afraid to let those early rock metal influences fly high. It sounded pure rock.
I mean, if you like that sort of thing, great. I just don't.
Yay, that's another wall of text. So the good band's got how many?
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're good at what they do. It's not my cup of tea. I'm probably not going to shit on it like Code Orange or whatever because, in all honesty, I could deal with ACDC more than metalcore. I don't like ACDC, but
yeah, the two I'm actually more interested in were definitely Lady Beast and what was that?
Well, there were a couple others. There was Complete Failure. There was fuck. I gotta go through this again. The bands I like.
No, it wasn't that. I think Argus was okay.
Okay, let me just go through here. Okay, I'm gonna do a little review of the bands here. Okay, Code Orange.
Oh, vomit.
Shit. Okay.
Lady Beast. Buy that shit.
Lady Beast. I have their discography.
Oh, good. Argus.
I like them actually. They're not bad.
No, they weren't.
I'll have to invest in them a little bit.
Eternal sleep.
How long did we get into this? Like 2 seconds?
I got 11 seconds in before I was like, nah, I don't want any more of this. I think they should sleep eternally.
Hound. I'm gonna have to look up that band up because I like them.
That was decent. Yeah.
Yeah. Some stoner metal.
Solar Burn.
Gonna have to look them up a little bit. The instrumental band. Gonna have to hear more about them because instrumental metal is something that isn't often done.
Yeah. Grey Walker.
I like Grey Walker. I think they were not like them. I think they're what metalcore should sound like.
Yeah. Complete Failure was good.
I like them. I'm gonna have to. I might have heard of them once or twice, but I'm gonna have to get their discog soon.
Blackfinger.
Might have to check them out a little bit more.
Okay. Myers, I'd actually have to sit there and listen to. It's
Myers, it sounds like a band that you have to sit and just let the despair float.
Yeah, it's 26-minute long track, and it doesn't look like it's an entire album.
It's an
Looks
EP,
like,
but I think it's just one track.
yeah. Adhoc EULA.
I mean, I'll listen to it again just to hear the punk influence, but I didn't hear no punk in it.
Yeah. Outside, inside.
I mean, if that's what you like, go ahead. I just don't happen to like it. Although I have sent it to Chaves, so I'll see what he says.
Yeah. Oh, there
Because
we go.
I think he'll dig some. So a couple of good bands, some shit bands. What have they done any from Los Angeles? Because that's where I live.
Yeah.
That's where I live. Ooh.
What was this? Oh, teacher reportedly assaulted student who wouldn't stand for Pledge of Allegiance.
Right, I saw this. Jim, do you know who Jesse James is?
Who?
Jesse James,
Yeah.
not the outlaw, the other guy.
Oh, no.
He's chopper builder. Choppers, the custom motorcycles.
Yeah.
He had a show called Monster Garage.
I think I heard of that show.
He was my hero when I was growing up. Well, I don't know why, but somehow he's taken a fucking turn to being a diehard rabid Trump supporter, which is interesting because now I see that he's the exact same person he should have hated, actually. And he claims to be an old biker in Hell's Angels, and he had pretty good taste in music, like Slayer. But anyway, he posted this on Twitter, cheering on the person who assaulted a middle school kid. And I was just like, fucking asshole.
But it was assault. An adult assaulting a child.
Yeah, but I'm just you know what I'm getting at here.
Yeah. But still. Boom! You fucking brat! Bam! Bam! Please quit taking that crowbar to me. I'm sorry.
Nope, no scene report from LA. But yes, it's just like, wow, really? You're going to, and it's not even for any good reasons. Like the kid exists. You didn't stand up and like I never understood why we had to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I sat it out for the last 7 years of my middle school or my school thing, or I'd make up my own. I pledge eternal hatred to the flag of the United States of Assholia. Or I was a fucking kid. So,
Yeah, it's whatever.
but still.
A strict, in quotes, Colorado gym teacher is accused of assaulting a student.
Well, I did get this from a right-wing website, so.
Because the kid refused to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Middle school teacher Karen Smith has been placed on paid administrative leave after the alleged incident at Angevine Middle School.
I've heard she looks like the type of person who would do something like that.
She looks old. Local police confirmed to CBS in Denver that cops are investigating reports that Smith assaulted an unidentified student for refusing to stand for the pledge. You little bastard, I fucking had to do it for how many years? You're going to do it too.
Fuck you, bitch.
I think that's the grounds I'd do it on. Look, I had to do this for how many fucking years as a kid, and I fucking wanted to destroy the nation back in those days. Now I just want to watch it collapse in on itself.
Yes, me too.
Because, fucking white atheists are having half a child less than, white Bible thumpers.
Yes.
A whole half a child. No charges have been filed, and details of the alleged incident had not been revealed by Saturday. I am reaching out to you tonight to let you know that we will have a substitute teacher working with some of our PE classes for the time being. Principal Mike Medina said in a letter sent home to parents Thursday night. While I cannot share much information, oh, come on, I want to know what was used, how it was done. Did she piss on the kid's face?
No, she didn't.
That would have been fucking hilarious, though. Bastard, I did this for like 18 years. This is my life. Now you're gonna do it too. Fuck yeah. Diarrhea all over the place. Following an incident today at school, Miss Smith was placed on administrative leave, paid. We are working closely with our partners at the Lafayette Police Department, the letter said. We believe in due process and therefore ask that everyone respect Miss Smith's privacy at this time. Well, good. At least you're going through due process. A lot of people just convict and kill immediately.
Not to interrupt, but Complete Failure's album before this one was called the Art Gospel of Aggravated Assault.
Oh, nice.
That works for this story.
Yes.
Sammy Jackson. Oh.
Yeah. Smith is 20. I had that song stuck in my head at work. It's like, no, I don't want to sing this here. Please help me. Whatever deities exist, just help me. No, I don't want to sing this. Even though it's awesome. Just because it just like completely dehumanizes someone. I don't care that it's like racist bullshit because it was just a complete dehumanization of someone.
Who's doing this?
I like that. And then he said, "Why me? Shut up, you stupid fucking."
Here, Sammy, here's some soul food.
Oh, force feeding him his family. Great. Smith is a 20-year veteran at the school. She is known as a strict teacher, but that had never been an issue before. One parent of a child at the middle school told CBS.
One parent said, damn, bitch, you strict.
Mm-hmm. She's strict, but fair.
That's not even fair.
In school district policy to allow students the choice of sitting or standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, a spokesperson told the Denver Post.
Yeah, I never got yelled at for sitting. It was always, oh, he's the blind weirdo. He's going to do what he wants.
So I always liked standing and doing it. But, that was me. And I didn't care what other people did because America, you're supposed to do whatever the fuck you want. As long as you ain't killing people and mugging them, it's supposed to be legal.
Why the fuck not?
Mm-hmm. And that's why I stood and said the pledge, while others sat and did nothing and did not care. Because that's the way it's supposed to be.
Well, it shouldn't even fucking, I mean, what other country has their Pledge of Allegiance every fucking day? What, North Korea? Russia?
Oh, hail, glorious leader.
I don't want to say Nazi Germany because people just say, but Nazi Germany? I pledge allegiance to the flag. I'm not saying Trump is a Nazi.
Where the fuck did I find this? This is obviously.
No, I'm not saying Trump is a Nazi.
This is great. I just have to read the headline, and then we're going on to a real article. Woman dead for 23 hours in hell reports seeing Michael Jackson, Pope John Paul II, and many other celebrities.
I hope they were the ones being tortured.
Yeah, they should be.
Whereas, like, Gigi Allen and fucking, they all put on concerts.
Mm-hmm. The Lord showed me a Mora tunnel, and there were lots of people walking through it with chairs on their feet and hands.
I have a chair on my feet.
Okay, we're done with this.
Okay, no, I can't. You realize now I just have pictures of people walking with chairs on their feet and hands.
That makes it even better, don't you think?
You must wear a chair.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Oh wait, this was something different. Wrong thing.
Professionalism.
That. Mm. There we go.
This is so. While he's looking for things, I watched the Stadium Super Truck race in L.A. Last month. Very fun race. Very action packed.
All right. Atari's former female employees reproached some bitch running for Congress, saying that they were all sexually assaulted. In other words, they're denying the claims.
Yay, sexually assaulted.
And says that she was denigrating Nolan Bushnell, the father of video games.
Okay.
Or one of them. Some of the former female employees who worked at Atari during the 1970s and 1980s have made comments about the state of the gaming industry, which has prompted various media outlets from The Guardian to USA Today to label Nolan Bushnell, the founder of Atari, as an unworthy recipient of the GDC Pioneer Award due to embracing the free love culture during the era of the 1970s, some 40 years ago, which was a completely different world.
Well, I mean, yeah.
For the record, Bushnell had no charges nor convictions against him for any kind of sexual misconduct.
So we're just blaming him.
Yeah. But feminists such as Brianna Wu, who wasn't even born by the time that this came into question, I can almost guarantee she wasn't.
Yeah.
And others within the social justice gaming community decided to attack Bushnell when they learned that the GDC had plans to give him a Pioneer Award at this year's event set to take place this March. A Facebook group known as the Atari Museum collected some statements from former employees of Atari, mostly the females, who offered their views about Bushnell and what it was like to work under his leadership and work with him.
It doesn't actually say her birth date. That's weird. Wikipedia is usually good at birth dates.
Mm-hmm. But that's because she was a person of interest. Or something, I don't know. Now she's doing the Congress thing.
Yay, Congress.
Yay, from your state, I think.
Whatever. I don't give a shit. I hate California anyway.
Good.
You gave the world code orange, so you can shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I know. It's a sad, sad day. Carol Cantor mentioned, I stand by my previous post. There was much that would be considered inappropriate today, but at the time it was mostly laughable and in poor taste sometimes, but not to be categorized as sexual harassment or abusive to women at the time.
Remember when things were like, okay, knock it off, it's in bad taste. Now it's
oh my god, criminal charges.
The sexual harassment fun-a-thon, or whatever the fuck Facebook's called it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a new belt? Yes, it is. Shock.
We were all encouraged to be social and have fun in our work. Oh god, if jobs actually still let you have fun at work. Elaine Shirley, another former employee at Atari, spoke to Replay magazine about her 20-year tenure.
But you know, these people don't matter. It's sort of like in Formula One, they want to ban grid girls, girls on the grid holding umbrellas and shit, because they objectify women. So says a feminist on This Morning, which is a British talk show, which would be all good, except for that grid girls from sports like F1 and other motorsports are saying they absolutely love doing what they do and they never feel objectified. Shh, you're not being a good victim.
Yes. I worked at Atari from 73 to 99. I was there during the Nolan era. It was the 70s. We had fun.
Fun? What is fun? Everyone has to be offended over something now.
I know. I mean, whenever you walk around the office of the building smoking pot, gonna get to work soon? Yeah, I just needed that one quick idea and I got it.
Of course, there's limits. Obviously, sexual assault is wrong or whatever, but we're rapidly approaching a state of basically the only way people can communicate, and not just of any genders. Hello, how are you today?
No, you can only do it online, and then you can only say hello. How are you today? Good. I will go by now.
I mean, it's taking away, and people can't build meaningful relationships anymore, and people wonder why.
And people wonder why we got the alt-right. It's because the left does this shit. Welcome to your inverse. Enjoy.
Yay!
That's why we gotta shit on them all.
And of course, if you get into a relationship and marry someone after a hello, how are you? And, that'll be totally not abusive.
Oh, and guess what? You're now going to jail for rape because a baby was made. It doesn't even matter if it was your sperm that did it. You're a rapist. Go to jail.
See, that's why I have high standards.
To my knowledge, no one ever did anything they did not want to do. At Atari, there was no hostile work environment. The GDC should ask the women that actually worked there during the time.
Yes, rather than people who weren't born. Well, okay, then that's the thing. Atari at that time was also sort of not an underground company, but video games were such a new thing at that time. They were the cutting edge.
Dude,
and you're gonna have
you read some of the things that happened in that office. It's like, dude, I mean, and it's general public knowledge at this point because there's several books that are like the guy was just going around on a scooter smoking pot before he got into his cubicle and started coding.
Well, and you're going to have things like that in an underground office of people who can take things that mainstream people can't take. I mean, my office would be pretty rough if Swine Brothers was an actual company.
You do the honorable thing, throw him a sword, and their options are either gut themselves with it or try to duel me, which I'll have my sword at the ready as well.
What did I do? You said you liked Code Orange.
I support Nolan getting the award. Jeez, next they will be pulling awards given to the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, and The Who. It was a different time.
Yes, and people who were groupies at that time said that they knew exactly what they were doing and they wanted to do it. They wanted to be with the band.
The most outspoken of the group was obviously Lonnie Reeder, Lonireeder. And started with a 38-year-old disgruntled uber-feminist woman game designer from Massachusetts running for Congress who had a less than stellar experience in the predominantly male-dominated video game space, resulting in what came to be known as Gamergate, using the Me Too movement and a moment in time for which she had no firsthand knowledge.
Well, and I'll reserve opinions about Gamergate because I still think both sides were equally culpable in that.
Yeah.
I mean, doxing is pretty much where I draw the line, people. On either side.
This is an old schooler. And with zero complaints lodged against Nolan or complaints about the work culture by employees working at Atari during the time.
I mean, if he turned out to be Jimmy Savile or whatever, if you don't know the Jimmy Savile story, you should. Respected, guy who apparently had a penchant for underage pussy. But it's so if he turned out to be Jimmy Savile or whatever, then yeah, by all means protest. But as far as I can tell, he's not.
Yeah, just fucking stoner.
And if you have a problem, I mean, it's not your time. It's not your you weren't involved in it just because you had a bad time. I had a bad time with fucking musicians that I respect being ultra dick.
How many chicks I talked to working on different assembly lines and other places I've worked over the years where they're like, I fucking hate the fact that everyone's walking on eggshells all the time because, people are complaining so much about shit that's not even an issue. And and it's always just that one person that everyone wishes they could get rid of, and they're 99% of the time it's the laziest worker on the field, but they're afraid to fire him because lawsuit.
Okay, the fucking I had a internet argument with a couple death metal musicians, and fucking what's his name? Frank from Anthrax, who's a dick. That's my opinion. That's no one else's opinion. I don't like Anthrax, but I respect those bands. I mean, the guy from Drop Dead hates my fucking guts because of what I said about vegans. But I like Drop Dead. They're a good band. Just Bob Otis is a dick. So what does that mean that Drop Dead shouldn't do any shows anymore? Because I personally don't like one guy.
And based on archival newspaper and magazine interviews with Nolan and others chatting about the work environment, time, and culture that existed 40 years ago.
I mean, yes, we need to move on to a different time. We need someone invent a time machine.
Yeah, I know, that sounds like a great time to be in.
Yeah, but there was no internet, which would have sucked.
Yeah, but think of the trade-off, all the fucking crazy shit going on, and that you didn't have to walk on eggshells all the time.
True, but we probably wouldn't have met, so.
Well, if we built the time machine and went back, then we would have met today, but then fucked with history, and probably end up uncreating ourselves in the process.
Oops! I just killed my family before I was born.
Mm-hmm. That's a great paradox to live in. Then you fade into nothing.
Or I don't. That's the best part. So there's me, but I don't exist, but I do exist. So I was just a thing one day.
A work environment everyone, men and women, happily worked in together and partied in together, or didn't party in. There was no pressure and no judgment. Yeah, really. I've been in those kinds of environments. My attic party, we had to have the straight edgers around because we needed designated drivers.
Well, yeah, no one ever forced me to get drunk or whatever. I did it because...
I got a picture where I'm fucking holding a sword to Dave's throat while he's drinking, but it was a joke.
Yeah, but that's murder, Jim. You're under arrest.
Yeah, I was forcing him to drink underage whenever he paid for it. And
yes, and attempted murder.
He woke me up to ask me to buy him booze and, inconvenienced me so that I could buy him booze.
That reminds me of how Dave Mustaine...
But I'm the one that forced him.
It reminds me of how Dave Mustaine and Dave Ellefson met after Mustaine threw a pot plant through Ellefson's window for playing bass too loud. Ellefson and his friend... They walk up to his house. Do you know where you can get cigarettes? There's a store in the corner. Fuck off. Slams the door. Knocking again. Are you old enough to buy beer? Now you're talking.
An environment that has resulted in decades-long friendships, marriages, little Atarians, business partnerships, and frequent reunions, providing us with amazing memories, and for most of us, spending the rest of our work careers attempting to replicate the magic of the Camelot that we were lucky enough to work at. Such a great time.
Yeah, wow, this sounds like a fucking dream job.
Technically, it was if you knew how to program or do some of the business end of things.
I can fake it.
There we go.
I know what I'm doing. You've just programmed the fucking weirdest, most acid trippy game. Really, I just kind of point and clicked.
By arming herself with a topical movement and being personally disgruntled and offended by an environment existing 40 years ago, which she played no part in, an environment that she had zero firsthand knowledge of.
Voice of the voiceless.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then that's the thing. If they're not complaining, and you know, don't complain for people. I mean, I could complain, but I'm not going to complain for people who aren't me.
And intimidating those of us who worked with or around Nolan, Al Alcorn, the Jeans, Lipkin and Landrum, Joe Keenan, Steve Bristow, and the rest of Mahogany Row.
It's just unbelievable.
Had been sexually assaulted, abused, and disrespected by, in her estimation, abominations of the male species.
Which, oh my god, death metal album title. Abominations of the male species.
Yes, and have it be a song about docking.
Yeah.
Yes, based on her political aspirations, personal assumptions, and libelous accusations against a man where no complaints have been raised or filed, she made a big unfounded noise against Nolan, and the Pioneer Award honor was withdrawn.
Well, yeah, it's why can't people mind their own business? I mean, if people came forward, then yeah, I would. Okay, yes, you did the right thing there. But people came forward to say no.
Yeah, well, there's someone using the Me Too movement, which is all about, supposed to be about, people being brave enough to come forward about people who abused them. But you know what's going to happen. It's a fucking hashtag. People are going to jump on that shit and try to ruin people's lives because, whatever. It doesn't matter. And that landed on the window. It's time to fucking destroy that man.
Yeah, and all this stuff I would be for if it was all responsible. I mean, I'm for people standing up and nailing people who...
It would be great if that's all it was.
Exactly.
But it's not.
I mean,
people are going to come in and it's a double-edged sword because you're not only going to ruin people's lives that don't deserve it, but over time, as the false accusations keep pouring in, it's going to delegitimize the honest accusations.
Well, it's gotten to the point where someone says they were sexually assaulted. I'm like, yeah, and I don't want to say that because it's horrible to not believe someone when they've had a horrible experience like that, and yet you kind of subconsciously have to
because you just see it all the fucking time.
I mean,
God, what the fuck's the name of it now? Project Lighthouse or something? It's like a Canadian-based thing that tries to get men off the hook of false allegations.
I called myself into the feminist thing before I knew whatever the wave we're on here. Because yes, of course I'm for the equality of women. And why would I not be for the equality of women?
Yeah.
And if women want to form a matriarchal society and kill all men, well, do it in a fun way,
Yeah. At least, be honest about your scumbaggery and realize that that's usually ejected from polite society. Don't polish it and try to make it part of polite society.
I mean, my favorite racing drivers are women, but not because they're women, because they can fucking race cars. How many bands have I talked about? Lady Beast, which has, as you didn't know, has a, a very good female vocalist, and so I'm for all these causes. It's just the people warp them into something that's, it's funny because joining Metalgate, everyone here seemed to be, not you, Jim, but everyone else seemed to be conservative, and some of them seem to be something a little bit for the, no, I don't want to say subjugation because I'm sounding paranoid, but the fucking alt-right people who think women should stay in the kitchen or whatever. And I'm the liberal who's like, no, I'd be for all these causes if they weren't warped.
Yeah, but that's the problem. The fucking maniacs always get hold of the fucking megaphone and warp everything.
And because of that, I'm lumped in with people I agree with on maybe two things. They like metal and they breathe oxygen. I don't agree with anything Brett Stevens has to say about anything. In fact, I don't think I've ever. I mean, I still talk to him, but I don't think I've ever found someone I disagree more with.
Yeah, but he's got good taste in music.
I mean, I agree with Shane Mathis on some of the stuff he says. It's just that he's so extreme and so fucking out there. Yes, we should not be homophobic, but then you start saying what we can and can't say.
No, that's a completely different story. You should be able to say fucking anything.
But he's still got good taste in
consequences to certain things, like fucking shit. Why don't we hate the communists as much as we hate the Nazis?
I've wondered that. I mean, communists killed more people than the Nazis. Yes, the Nazis are scum, but Stalinists are scum too.
I mean, granted, okay, yes, I'll accept the argument. In fact, I endorse the argument that if the Nazis had stayed around as long as different communist governments did, they probably would have killed as many, if not more.
I also endorse the argument that communism isn't inherently...
What was that?
Well, Nazism is inherently like that. I also get the argument that communism isn't inherently like that. You don't become a communist and kill 20 million people, whereas you sort of have to have some sort of... I've never seen a nonviolent Nazi, let's put it that way.
Yeah, I've never seen it either.
But, but the thing that Stalinism... But you could still claim that you're a Stalinist or a Maoist, and people will go, aren't you a little extreme? But they won't say, what the fuck? You're like idolizing someone who massacred people.
Yeah. Why the hell aren't we fucking demonizing them the same way that, as a society? Me, I'm scum. I shrug my shoulders because mass murder is fucking hilarious. But, I'm scum. We're talking about the polite society people. Demonize Nazis. Why the fuck aren't you demonizing commies? Birds of a feather.
I mean, and I get the anarchist communists whole Stalin wasn't a real communist. I do think that's no true Scotsman to a fucking nth degree, because he was a communist. The Russian government had communist practices, and I'll admit my whole trolling of the communist scene isn't necessarily that I ardently disagree with that. I would love communism if it could work, but it can't work.
It'll never work because it just takes things way too extreme.
But I mean, if it could, yeah,
it's like my fucking egoist sense of fucking anarchy. Yes, I'd love it if I'd love to legalize murder, but that still won't work to lead to the society I envision, where people are just too paranoid of the private citizen.
Pretty much. So yeah, I mean, we don't demonize because Nazis were our enemies, and I mean, there was a demonization in the 50s and 60s, but that was less to do with Stalin's death camps and more to do with, oh my God, they're gonna take over America. But nowadays, like I said, if you claim you're a Stalinist, people will go, well, that's a little extreme, I think. But nobody will go, wow, you're celebrating someone who murdered more than the Nazis. In fact, there's more than one conspiracy theory with more than a little weight that Stalin didn't die of natural causes. Someone poisoned him because he was going to do another purge of his officers. And the guy was like, okay, you know what? Fuck this. Okay, you know what? Fuck you, Joe. So he poisoned him.
Yeah. Well, we only went from Atari to genocide like that in 0.3 seconds.
Genocide, the video game. Rated E for everyone.
Because it was made on Atari.
Rated S for sociopath.
Yeah, rated S for sociopath. Bing! Atari was a large corporation with many facilities, but I worked in corporate headquarters, interfaced with every department in the company as part of communications, security, and facilities groups, and being adopted by the coin-op and industrial design groups. I also spent a great deal of time in the engineering, hot tub building, which would be the two locations where most of the fun and craziness occurred.
I'm going to take some acid. Mario.
I think that was actually quoted as happening, and like they were making a game. I think it was a coin-op.
I mean, I'll be honest. You can't function, or at least I can't when I'm high. But you get high, and then you open your mind up to another frame of existence, and use this frame when sober.
Yeah, to fucking do something.
Which is what we were talking about the other day.
Yeah. From my vantage point, having a first-person perspective of this time and the Atari environment, what has been done to Nolan is falsely mischaracterizing him for a lifestyle that did no harm or wrong to anyone.
Can we bring it back?
Yes, we should.
Can we just kill everyone who is...
Oh my god, you're speaking like a filthy fucking traditionalist. You want to go back to a period in time. Oh my god.
Dude, I want to go back to like the 80s.
Oh god, so much fun. And I was a kid then.
Great slasher movies, great music, great racing.
Mm-hmm.
And big ass computers that you could play games on.
Oh god, fucking take you to an arcade, you would fucking die with all the sounds because like it was just like what the oh my god.
Well, it was like that when I was a kid in the 90s.
And I don't mean like you would die as in you're so confused. It would just sound so awesome to you hearing everything going on. And then people yelling at each other, you fucking cockmuncher.
I mean, I was surprised about how good arcades were in the 90s. Racing games, how developed they were, the sound wise.
Mm-hmm.
I loved going to arcades in the 90s, when I was a kid, because so many racing games. I went there, I want to say 4 years ago. It wasn't my intention. We were at a place with an arcade. I was like, okay, I'll check it out. There were 2 racing games. 2.
Nolan created a company environment which opened the doors to many women into a field where they had never been included before. High tech. Nolan never discriminated on any level and gave everyone a chance to prove their own merits. There's the problem, meritocracy.
Yes, that's why motorsport has to be banned, because motorsport's mostly a meritocracy.
Yeah, you gotta do something.
And the great thing about motorsport is if you don't make it in one series, you make it in the other series, and you become a legend in the other series. People forget that because you didn't have the right car. So, but it is a meritocracy. I mean, it's same thing in music. I mean, the great bands will always fucking rise to the top, no matter how much no matter how many times they try to say Metallica is still a great band.
That they could be part of Atari. From soldering boards to building arcade cabinets, drawing schematics and artwork to working on the assembly line. And there were actually, I think 2 female coders at the time, too.
Oh, only 2. That sexism. There needs to be at least 8,000.
Yeah, even if they suck. And build games like Depression Quest. Oh, dear
somebody
God.
had
Someone
Like,
fed me a link to play Depression Quest. I did, and I was like, "What the fuck? It's a virtual novel, but like half that doesn't let you pick half the options, and that's the key to the game. You're supposed to be too depressed to do things. Oh, fuck you! You're taking away options before I've even done anything. Like the first screen has like a couple options already X'd out. It's like I didn't even do anything, and you're taking away options. What the fuck?
that's
I
stupid.
could
Usually,
see taking them away after I pissed someone off. No, you want to make peace with them? Oh, you can't do that now because you pissed them off too much. Oh,
when I'm depressed, I do want to do things because I don't want to be depressed anymore.
yeah.
But
But
what was I going to say?
you're just supposed to sit there all absorbed in yourself and just go.
Well, yeah, I do that for about 30 minutes, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? But Adam Carolla, who I don't find funny at all, he made some comments about how, women sitcom writers aren't funny, which I don't think is true. I don't think male sitcom writers are funny either. But, you know, I'm not for things like affirmative action. I'm for having the best man or woman on the staff. If you can find funny writers who are female, by all means get them. If you can't, then tough shit.
Oh my god. For me personally, Nolan was the final word in my being hired at Atari, my first full-time job after college. He continued his belief in me years later when we co-founded U-Wink in Los Angeles, where I became an equally compensated vice president.
Yay, Los Angeles. I know where that is.
Yeah. Nolan never profiled a person by their gender as to whether or not they were fit for the job. He based his decision on the person's skill, ability, and passion for the job. Because of that belief, we always rose to the occasion. We were a bonded teamship and a family.
So yeah, and I mean, if Jim was a female, he would be just as well. That'd be fucking weird, but just as qualified to do the show. And I still like to have it called Swine Brothers, even though women are allowed on it, just to confuse people.
Yeah.
And the thing I love about Swine Brothers, people YouTube comments calling me swine. I have to remember that they don't know my name.
That's
Wait,
great.
who's Swine? Oh yeah.
Atari also saw a woman, the amazing Carol Shaw, go on to fame. I know that name from somewhere. I should know this. I'll just look it up real quick.
You, you do that. I'm gonna cough apparently. Death hump, death hump.
Oh, yeah. Designer, Atari Inc.
Did she invent the death hump?
3D tic-tac-toe. River Raid. Oh, she was. Oh, that's right. She was part of the founders of Activision. That's where I knew that.
How do I know Activision?
Okay, that's where I remember.
How do I know the name Activision?
Because they made some decent games.
They made some racing games. That's the only reason. Yeah, okay. But basically, the only reason I know game makers is if they make racing games. So
For me, and I'm sure for other women who will weigh in, all this feminazi congresswoman wannabe may believe she is doing Atari womankind a favor. In reality, she has done us a disservice by creating victims where there were none.
by the way, everyone, I'm laughing because for a woman like myself, it's like the Emily Hill article. Sometimes I wear a flowery dress.
Yay.
And you did, and we posted. Good God, I'm glad I'm blind.
Personally, I am extremely angered by her words and conduct in this matter. Not just for Nolan, but for the women of Atari, all of us. We all were and remain to this day extremely strong and intelligent women. And there isn't any man who would dare take advantage of us. Not if they intended to procreate in the future. I love that. Yes, take his balls. Do it. Do it. I like that threat of violence. That's great.
Yeah.
That shows you 70s upbringing there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, she was an adult in the 70s. What the fuck am I talking about?
Well, 50s upbringing at least.
My other anger is the callous and unnecessary hurt I'm sure this matter has inflicted on Nancy and their kids and grandkids. I think that's his wife.
Well, yeah. How would you like to if someone you love was accused of
Being, Mr. Rapist Extraordinaire.
I'm not a therapist. I'm the rapist.
Psycho the rapist. It's supposed to say psychotherapist. Oh, God.
Oops. Well, it works too. That works good too.
Finally, by not doing their due diligence before terminating the honor, the GDC did a disservice to Nolan, to my fellow Atarians, and to the truth. Nolan was extremely gracious in this matter via his tweet. Hopefully the GDC will right this misstep on their part at some point in the future. That's near impossible right now because of the way the fucking politics are running. And
I just love that they did it with that. And someone says something, we have to,
Oh, and she's running for Congress. We have to danger Will Robinson. You have no idea what this person did.
Yes. Nice 2001 reference, you fucking asshole.
What?
Never mind. Continue with your fucking story.
That was it.
Oh. Well, don't continue with your fucking No, it's I don't understand why they pulled the thing. I mean, I wouldn't do it without any sort of evidence or any,
There's someone running for Congress that might actually get in.
Look at first termers can't do shit.
Yeah.
I think I have more power than a first term congressperson.
Well, let's go along with the rape accusations. James Bond was a rapist.
Well, yeah. I mean, even back then, I know people who read his shit or saw the movies and were like, "Wow, what a jerk."
Yeah.
And of course, Ian Fleming was an alcoholic, womanizing.
Yeah. Scott Gilmore says eventually all our heroes become villains, and so will we.
I'm waiting for Sherlock Holmes to be a villain.
God was fired. A few weeks ago,
I'm just letting you go. Just letting him have his little hamster wheel.
Yeah. A few weeks ago, I was stuck listening to one of those endless loops of bickering as my kids debated what movie we should watch. I put an end to it by announcing, I have the perfect film. You'll love it. I loaded up Goldfinger. I liked that film.
I'm not a James Bond fan, to be honest. I've never read the books, so maybe the books will be more interesting, but never liked the movies, to be honest.
It's the she-manatees.
Yes. That was also quite bad.
Yeah. Within 10 minutes, things became uncomfortable as we watched Bond break into a hotel room and overpower a woman in order to have sex with her. That's... okay. No.
I think you broke Jim.
No. It was part of that counterintelligence loop and shit. And fuck.
That's the thing I love about James Bond. No matter what the woman is, good or bad, he just can't resist.
Oh yeah, he fucks everything, but every time it's well, yeah, it looks like it's consensual here. Good. And half the time they're, whenever he's fucking the bad guy, they're probing him for intelligence, and they're not. And he's proving them this penis.
Penis probe, penis probe, penis probe.
Then, of course, Pussy Galore arrives. Yay! Bond uses a series of judo moves to overpower her. He crawls on top of her, spreading her legs apart. He tries to kiss her. She twists away and struggles desperately to fight him off, but inevitably she is beaten. Bond gets what he wants. No, don't show your kids a new movie. Oh, God. Just remove everything from everything.
Just explain to your kids, no, kids, this is not how you act in real life. James Bond's another prick.
Yeah.
But it's entertaining.
How did I not remember that scene?
How could you not know that? I've never seen the movie, and I know that's...
It is jarring. No, it really wasn't.
No, I mean, especially considering that, now it would have been a lot more overt. I mean, it was still overt, but
It was not rakish seduction. Yes, it was.
Well, for James Bond, yes, it was. That's the thing about James Bond. He's supposed to be a prick. He's supposed to be a suave prick.
It is simply rape. You didn't see how the chicks tried using him later? Fuck.
Yes, consensual sex is rape, apparently.
Yes. Even if it had like a rough start going.
Some people like it rough.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, some people like it rough.
God, and to think of all the chicks I know that are into the really dark side of BDSM. These bastards had their way. Those chicks would want to fucking put their heads on spikes. Imagine that woman power coming. A bunch of subs coming up to you, just ripping your head off because you're not letting their doms do their job.
Okay.
And when I begin to think about some of my other favorite movies, I realized it was happening a lot.
So, do they want... I mean, I'm not...
They want no sex whatsoever. Because it's that point of self-abasement. I have to prove I'm not a rapist by forcing everyone in the world to never have sex again.
Do they want, like, okay, here's a form. I'm gonna get signed with my notary public. I mean, I'm not that forward with people. I'm never that, because that's not me. But some people are that forward. Fine, but as long as both are into it, I don't give a shit. But should James Bond have stopped and said, now, how do you feel about this? Tell me how this makes you feel.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
I mean, first of all, it's a movie, okay? Movies do things that you can't do in real life. Like, movies, like, how many people did James Bond kill?
Oh, yes. Many.
And, in real life, he would have been fucking dead for that.
Well, dude, he's a fucking spy.
I'm just saying.
He would have been executed like quicker than shit. Just because you're a spy and everyone knows your fucking name, apparently. It's time to put a bullet in your head. That's the way a real villain would have been. Oh, James Bond, I know that name. Bang! Fucking spy.
Yeah. But, I mean, how many people has James Bond... there's so many things in that movie, in movies, that you can't do in real life. If you take your real life morals from movies, I didn't even do that when I was a kid. Because if I was a kid, I'd think, my toys could talk to me and fucking plotted take over the fucking world.
Fantasy and reality are the same.
Well, yeah, if you take enough drugs.
Consider the wholesome musical Grease.
No, I don't want to. I'm sorry. I refuse to consider the wholesome musical Grease because that shit haunts my fucking...
A horny game.
I had to hear my high school put on a play of that.
A horny Danny takes Sandy to the drive-in, holds her down, gets on top of her while she screams and tries to push him off. Then he yells at her angrily when she runs away. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, that's how kids react. I mean, that's how drunk kids are.
And when you go down this path, God, quit taking us down this path. You quickly realize it's not just movies. This Christmas, I gawped in horror as Dean Martin roofies a woman while crooning "Baby, It's Cold Outside."
I'm sorry. That's too hilarious. That's hilarious. As every time I hear the song "Oh What a Beautiful Morning," I think of machine gun fire.
What a beautiful morning. Genocide for everyone.
Fucking happiest beautiful day song, and you just look out on the scenes of complete destruction.
And it's not just rape. Rewatch Breakfast at Tiffany's.
No.
Mickey Rooney's buck-toothed, nearsighted kimono wearing turn as a Japanese businessman is so mindlessly racist. You literally have to pause the movie to figure out what's going on. You have to literally look at everything through this lens where everything has to offend you. You have to find the offense. It's there. Seek it. Seek it.
Seek and ye shall find.
God, this sounds like so many minister sermons where it's like, and that's where the sin is in this, and that's where the sin.
Yeah.
You know, we just get done reading chick tracks where it's like
fire,
no,
like the ministers who turn on radio stations at 2:00 in the morning, just trying to be offended by something, and sure enough, they find something to be offended by,
and then they write a 2-hour sermon about.
Or they complain to the government. So the right-wing minister is now the left-wing.
Yeah,
this is PMRC, but rather than coming from outside the scene, it's actually coming from inside the scene.
Yeah. It's a fact I'll observe. It's a facile observation, but nonetheless true. Times change. Our moral standards are less bedrock and more river.
Well, okay, I was watching a race from 1971, okay, and they described the announcer, in all innocence, described a driver named Wendell Scott as the only Negro driver who's been on this circuit for quite some time. And I had to just stop and go, wait, did he just say what I think he said? I mean, it was Jim McKay, and he wasn't trying to be racist. He was just being factual.
Yeah. They constantly shift and evolve, sometimes over generations, sometimes in the span of a few months. Oh,
morals are relative, not universal.
Yeah.
And they should never be universal. That's called Christianity.
Or any fucking God.
Well, I mean, because Satanism, even the theistic one, says that morals are relative.
Yeah.
Just look at, my morals. Everything's fine as long as I don't, kill anyone I like.
As we are perhaps seeing right now with the Me Too movement. Oh, what? That one
that we
thing
just
we just covered, say, with all these chicks bitching about it, saying you got it wrong.
Yeah. And grid girls complaining that their people are talking for them, saying they're objectified when they don't feel objectified at all. I'm glad I don't have any sharp objects near me.
Flamethrower.
Well, I don't have that either.
One day, Sir John A. Macdonald is the revered father of the nation. The next, we are digesting the fact he starved indigenous people into submission.
Well, fine, but the fucking founding fathers owned slaves and people still like them. I don't give a shit personally. I mean, Washington was a cunt.
Yeah, but fuck it. Most of the time, we don't even notice. Our definition of what is acceptable, what isn't, changes so incrementally, it's imperceptible.
That's true because I used to think some things weren't acceptable that I now do, like Nazi music. Which I mean, I used to not like it because oh my god, not. And then I was like, you know what, good music is good music. But I mean, we read Lisa by Jack Chick, and I was like, this is the most vile piece of shit I've ever read.
Yeah.
I mean, it actually literally made me go, me, the guy who could, you know, watches gore videos and shit, just go, that was disgusting.
The guy who revels in the fact that people really died in some of those because someone just filmed someone actually dying.
Yes, and I thought it was hilarious. The guy who walks into a restaurant and thinks most people should be improved by being set on fire, read Lisa by Jack Chick, and if you've never read it, read it. And it is honestly offensive.
Yeah.
I'm going to pray for you rather than call the cops.
10 years ago, homosexuals made you ill. No, they didn't.
No, for me, it was like, oh, like when I was like 8, oh, some guys like guys and some girls like girls. Oh, okay. I mean, and it's funny because I knew gay people who used gay as an insult.
Yeah. I still love the one guy that was, I forget which band someone posted, but like someone posted his thing, and this guy's like just a raving homosexual. He's like, dude, that's gayer than me, and I've sucked a lot of cock in my life.
You said something about when he was a kid, he liked Mickey Mouse, and he liked the thing with the little ears, and this guy who we knew was a gay guy just looked at him deadpan and goes, that's the gayest thing I've ever heard.
Today, you're borrowing a snow shovel from your gay friends next door.
I never gave a shit. My sister had friends, gay friends and shit. I never once said anything about because I don't care. Shit. It's, I mean, what?
We're talking 30 years ago, and you're trying to make it seem like, oh my god, back in the day, they were all savages. No, you just listen too much to media, which is downstream of culture.
I
realized that most people were like, meh. Yeah, you
never even crossed my mind.
You always have your hell-brand preachers trying to assert morality. And apparently, this guy writing the article is one of them.
It never even crossed my mind to judge because I don't care. Good, okay, whatever. Do whatever you want to do with whoever you like. I don't give a shit.
But then we sit down to watch a movie with the kids and we're suddenly forced to ask ourselves, is it okay to watch James Bond rape a woman with a smirk on his face?
I wish that were a real scene.
I wish that was a real scene. But it's not.
Just like her, just like it would only be good if like she like ripped his face off. Oh, okay, you're gonna smirk as you do that. Well,
fuck you! I'm having fun.
Yeah, no, I'm having fun. She just rips his face off. And of course, you know, the best ending of the movie would be her like masturbating with the face.
I know more than a few. You are rolling your eyes at that question. I was laughing at it the whole time.
I don't know how to roll my eyes. I've never actually learned how to control my eyes.
He had no use to.
And yet they still fucking act up and bother me. How fucked is that?
Well, you fucking stare directly into the sun. They're going to get sunburnt. There's some nerve endings there, just not the ones that give you sight.
No, it's not that, like they'll randomly act up, and it's like, okay, you're not gonna work for me, but you're gonna cause me pain. Fuck you,
Yeah.
assholes.
But I doubt that includes anyone currently raising daughters.
Fuck. If I
Think
had
of the children. Think of the children. Homosexuals are sin. Think of
fuck,
the
what did Glenn
children.
Benton say? Like, I mean, Tom Araya, the Christian from Slayer, lets his kids watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's just a movie, kids.
I just love to think of the children.
I knew there's a woman from Sweden who told me her brother made her watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and horror movies like that, not rape movie, horror at age 3, because, quote, it'll be good for you. And she became a massive horror fan.
You know how many 6 mile long alt-right articles use the same tactic of saying, but I doubt any that includes anyone currently raising daughters.
Yeah, well, that
that
sounds
same tactic, and like
that honestly, that sounds like our friend who had a falling out on Saturday. That sounds like exactly something he'd say. Whereas I'm like, well, look, I would explain to my children that this is a movie and this is not acceptable behavior, but it's a movie. Just enjoy it as a movie, as a work of fiction. Do you think Harry Potter is fucking real? Do you I mean, you might play, but do you honestly walk around thinking you're going to curse people?
I do every day.
Well, you know what I mean.
The Grand Wizard Dragon.
That's the KKK, although Harry Potter and the KKK should be... We had to hang a black wizard today.
Black Wizard. Black
Wizard needs to be a metal band.
Eventually, all our heroes become villains. George Washington owned slaves, and I learned that back in the 80s.
Well, yeah, I was surprised when I read that, but not really. And he was never really a hero. I mean, I liked his public image of the humble, honest person who didn't want to be president, but and also who didn't want to command. He said he was unworthy of commanding the Revolutionary Army. Then why did he show up every day of the Continental Congress in his army suit?
Famed suffragette Nellie McClung was a vocal advocate for sterilizing women with disabilities.
Well, I think we should sterilize women because
they're women. And we should also sterilize men.
I hate kids.
We should sterilize women because they're women and sterilize men because they're men. In fact, sterilize humans. Make us the last generation. That way we could have some real fun by murdering each other.
Murder everyone.
And then we will be extinct. Hoorah!
I mean, Lovecraft was a racist. I love Lovecraft's work.
Eleanor Roosevelt was wildly anti-Semitic.
I don't like Eleanor Roosevelt.
Winston Churchill, utterly racist.
Well, yeah, but Winston Churchill was a cunt. Everyone knows that.
Oh, look at the pussy here. Oh, my God.
What?
Christopher Columbus? You don't even want to know.
Yeah, well, Columbus was a fucking moron anyway.
Oh, yeah, okay. We're going to go around and go to fucking East India. Yeah.
No, Jim. No. It wasn't called India in 1492. It was called Hindustan. The term Indians came from Columbus was not a very good Spanish speaker, so he translated something or other Indios, which meant people. I don't remember the word for people, and God. Indios, Indians. I'm sorry, you forced me to do that. That's why I say Indian, not Native American, because fucking morons don't know history.
There we go.
I learned that from George Carlin.
And also, let's just pick up people and take them over and force them to commit to our culture, saying that they're good people.
Yeah, I mean, well, of course he was a kid. That was the way people existed by that time. I mean, what the.
No, I'm just bringing up this point because he was too chicken shit to say it.
I mean, that's the way people thought that
If
time.
you're going to go off the deep end, at least describe it. Don't stop with "you don't want to know." Like, trigger warning.
And it wasn't even. I mean, Indians did the same thing with other Indians. There were wars far beyond what we think of as. I mean, okay, not as, because obviously we could do like mechanized warfare, but there were wars that had no rules to them. Basically, just scorched earth, men, women, children, dead.
Even
Because
the most virtuous among us right now, the pink-headed protesters and the hemp-wearing vegans. You call them virtuous.
you call them virtuous, I call them scum of the earth.
Hey, boom, 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 mana.
You know, I'm gonna be like Flatus Maximus. I'm gonna have a strict diet of vegetarians.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you gotta go.
God bless Flatus Maximus. R.I.P.
Will one day be seen as contemptibly, perhaps even criminally unethical.
What the fuck are ethics?
One ate meat, the other owned a car.
I like meat and I like cars.
And this guy's... I think he might be coming up with a moment of self-realization in this and isn't quite there to realize that one day he will be the villain.
But I mean, yes, times and morals and mores and things change, but you know, people still think of George Washington as a good guy. People still think of Columbus. I mean, people still watch James Bond movies. I mean, people watch Birth of a Nation mainly in fucking film class, but I think it's a hilarious movie.
Times change. The goalposts never stop moving. So can we watch Bond or not? I would argue we can and we should. Oh, finally, some sense.
Well, why are we even asking, can we watch something? I don't generally like the hive mind to tell me what I can and can't watch. Thank you. Hey Jim, can I listen to power metal that you hate? Oh, I don't give a shit.
When we reach Shakespeare, no one is convinced the perfidious French deserve nothing but the sword.
Yes, the French deserve. You know what? This is a Swine Brothers top tip. The French people deserve nothing but the sword, and you have to decide whether, I mean, they deserve to be decapitated by the swords, or do they deserve to have swords and decapitate others?
Yes, because both are acceptable answers.
Because both are acceptable answers.
Likewise, when we watch Bond rip the bikini top off a woman, wrap it around her neck and choke her until she begs for life, diamonds are forever, we're not accepting this as normal. You just went above, and now you're finally coming to a almost realization. But I don't think you're quite there because you still had to write.
Everyone knew Bond was, but no one thought Bond was a paragon of virtue. That's the thing I don't understand. Everyone knew Bond was scum.
Yeah, and that's why I liked it.
You saw jokes in the 90s about like what a politically correct James Bond would look like, because everyone knew he was a fucking scumbag and people still liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's mindless, stupid entertainment.
In fact, the shock of seeing something you once loved and realizing how brutal it now seems is only good for us.
Brutal?
That's not brutal.
I mean, I remember seeing things I once loved and thought, okay, yeah, that's a little bit racist now, but that's not fucking brutal. What would be brutal is if he took the bikini top, put a fucking coat hanger in the bikini top, used it to leverage, then stuck it in her stomach and pulled out her fucking intestines through her belly button.
And then fuck the hole.
And then that would be brutal, and that would be... What?
That would be something we have to put on air.
That would be something we have to put on air.
It forces us to consider what we are doing right now, what we are laughing at today, which is this article.
Which is nothing because you can't laugh at anything these days.
Which will one day be abhorred as barbaric.
Our show is already... I got an email one day from someone who said, and this was something they said about the Mudbond radio show, but they finally said it about us. I'm sorry, choked up. No, he said, not only is your show everything that's wrong with society, it's everything that's wrong with human nature as a whole. Please shoot yourself.
Oh my God, thanks for the compliment. Dear God, we hit the stars. That's the limit.
This was from a right-winger.
That's great.
I mean...
Thank you. I am honored by your compliment.
This is not like... Yeah, exactly. I wrote a letter back saying, you just made me cry.
That's the most beautiful thing.
I mean, our show is already fucking everything that's wrong with society as a whole.
And human species itself. It's great. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh God, that just filled me with such joy.
Okay. I know, right? It's beautiful. Romping through this. Oh. I made him say the Pledge of Allegiance. He's so happy.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh, that made me so happy to be an American right there. We have hit rock bottom, and we keep digging further.
My way to something worse.
We have no reason to feel smug and self-righteous with our enlightened modern sensibilities.
What modern sensibilities? We were called scum.
And he thinks he's enlightened. Isn't that cute?
Oh, he thinks we're the enlightened ones.
Yes, we're the enlightened ones because we actually accept. We're the enlightened ones because we actually accept the fact we're scum. Whenever other people actually start coming around and realize they're scum too, and don't sit there and cry and beat themselves up for it.
I watch James Bond. That's bad, bitch. Screwdriver just came on my thing right now. Pride is a loyalty. Do.
Tomorrow is guaranteed to bring us all dishonor and shame. Yes, it is.
Much like today.
Much like every day of our natural born lives. Enjoy.
Yes, embrace.
And the worst part is I actually have a sense of honor.
Me too.
And I haven't actually violated it in a long time.
Jim, you know my sense of honor.
But whenever I do violate it, I feel guilt because I betrayed myself.
Jim, you already know I have a sense of honor, and people who violate it wish they never were born. You haven't violated it. Fucking Nazis haven't violated it. I mean, they're idiots, but with Nazis, everyone knows I'm dating a black girl, and if they say anything about that, then I will murder them with death. But if they just leave, everything out of it, fine.
Yay!
Because don't get into politics. That's interesting. I've never had a Nazi friend make fun of me for my preference. It's never happened. So, but yes, I have a sense of honor. Basically, my sense of honor is don't fuck up, boy.
All right, one last article. I don't even know how long this is, so maybe it might not be, but we'll see.
If it's short, I have something. Well, yeah.
It's from lifenews.com.
Life News. I prefer Death News, but what do you got for us?
Comedian Sarah Silverman says pro-life laws make me want to eat an aborted fetus.
I didn't even post this for the fucking actual thing because I did it because just the title, the headline alone. And I will say I am pro-choice. I mean, because people should have a choice.
Yes, I am all for eugenics. As long as it's practiced within your own, whatever you want to do.
Well, I mean, if you choose to have an abortion, go ahead. If you choose not to, fine. That's your fucking choice.
And the funny part is, I'm also pro-death penalty.
I'm pro-death penalty, but only to people who really deserve it. Like assholes in front of me in line.
Yeah, see? He gets it. All right. If you ever wondered what the crazed feminists in Hollywood are up to these days, wonder no more. They're raising money for abortions. Yay!
Jesus.
Mandatory abortions for everyone.
Well, this is life news, so you already know the slant.
Yeah. You know that Boink the Destroyer, whenever he became God, it became part of your initiation into his priesthood, that like your firstborn had to be aborted, and then that became your holy symbol.
I wish their firstborn was aborted, but that's another story.
Dun, 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 dun. On February 1st, the Lady Parts Justice League, the Cunt Justice League, just name it that.
CJL, motherfucker.
Had a telethon called Life is a Living Nightmare. A telethon to fix it.
That's like an emo band. Where life is a living nightmare. The song is called Life Sucks.
I just like the way it's presented as life is a living nightmare, a telethon to fix it. Just brought this image of people calling in and donating money so that like death squads would run around murdering people. We're fixing life,
Death squads of clowns who cluck like chickens, apparently.
Yeah.
Did they actually cluck like chickens, or did you just make that part up?
Oh, I made that part up, but seriously, it was just this horde of clowns descended upon this city. As hit R3 and more clowns would appear.
Oh my god!
And the first thing they do is just cause havoc, and they wouldn't stop. Yank someone out of the car, then don't even bother getting in it. They just started shooting it till it blew up.
Our latest news update. Holy shit!
Yeah, that's what we need. The mystical clowns to appear and start murdering everyone. Not those fucking juggalos that are pathetic. No, I'm talking real psychotic clowns. Like the killer clowns from outer space. Or Sweet Tooth. Oh, fuck yeah. I'm not too fond of his later renditions. I like his earlier ones where, like, he just wanted his pet sock, and that's why he killed everyone.
His later, you mean when they rebooted it?
Yeah. Whenever they tried to make him a serious character, I liked it whenever it was like, I just murdered like 8 million people so I could get a sock.
Well, we'll talk about that after the show, but yeah, that's pretty much mine. Anyway, continue with the...
The fundraiser, hosted by Winstead herself, along with comedian Sarah Silverman, featured almost 4 hours of bizarre content, including abortion charades.
Abortion charades.
If it wasn't actually pathetic, I'd approve, but it was done pathetically.
I want abortion charades on the show.
Oh, good. Who's this? Why should they have been aborted?
I don't care. Good
answer. An interview with abortionist Willie Parker.
Oh, God. Such a great name. My name is Willie. I stick my Willie in him, then I abort him.
And political rants. How many are the dead fucking horse that Trump sucks? Oh, God. And you picked the wrong reasons why he sucks. Look
Not
at his
even
actual...
a dead horse. It's a fucking decomposing, rotted horse head that they just keep kicking and kicking and
Yeah, it's already been violated by like 16 penises and one vagina.
Watching its skull cave in. Kicking.
During one of the charades, Silverman announced that conscience clause law that prevented aborted fetuses from being used in manufactured food products. Oh, why aren't they?
Why?
See, I agree with the statement that, something like that would make her want to eat a fetus. I agree with the statement, but dear God, this is so lame.
I want fetus hot dogs.
The charades were called shitty law charades, which is like,
I tried human flesh once.
I think you said it tastes like burnt.
It tastes like sweet burn. It's good.
Human sweet white meat. Let's
Yeah.
see some.
I want aborted fetus dogs.
Launch a mini nuke at point blank range.
Fight me like a man. No.
No, I'm fighting you like a man because I'm standing right beside you while I launch this thing. It's going to kill you, and I'm going to barely live and have to eat a bunch of rat away just to survive.
But damn it.
All the food MREs I picked up along the way, just and then eat you. After I
nukes.
And we're introduced by a woman wearing a female genitalia costume. Oh God!
There was a woman who showed up with a pregnant woman aborted on her jacket for Halloween. It wasn't an abortion thing. It was just, I don't know if she was into metal or not, but it was a cut open pregnant woman.
Yes,
she got arrested. I think she got expelled for that, or suspended at least. I never met her.
You see, you got to remember, this kind of shit isn't part of polite society whenever you go that far off the deep end. But you know what? Once you learn that, you can enjoy life a lot better.
Well, yeah, I tried going straight in 2012, and look what that gave me, fucking misery.
Two of the laws that were meant to be acted out by volunteers were: you cannot use aborted fetuses as ingredients in the manufacture of food products. And clinics are mandated by law to cremate or bury every aborted fetus.
Which is bullshit, because what about stem cell research?
Also, what about Boink's holy symbol? We need Boink's holy symbol, which is an aborted fetus with a hook through its head.
Yes, but
that's what you hold while you're rebuking undead.
Also, stem cell research.
And forcing them to obey your every whim.
Yes, well.
We need stem cell research so that way I can eat people.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Hey, if I clone myself, I'm only killing myself, but I'm still alive, hence no crime.
Yeah.
And I'll get to see what I taste like.
Probably not very good.
Probably not at this stage. When the concept of conscience clause laws was explained, Silverman summed up her feelings on religious freedom. Religious freedom used to be such a beautiful thing because it was like this big inclusive thing in the country. And now it's just this shroud to legalize hate and shit like that.
Yes, now religious freedom is giving people less freedom.
Just like the antithesis of it, trying to destroy, is also trying to give people less freedom. So, hey, enjoy being what you already protest against. Enjoy.
Yeah, but I still think we should destroy it just to fucking annoy Christians before we massacre them.
Yeah, but that's if the world was yours. It's not going to be yours.
I know.
Well, I'm not actually sorry. I'm
Thanks.
not. Because
yes, you
the
are.
world's going to be mine.
No, it's not. It'll never be yours.
No. What's going to happen is, I'm just going to give you the world. Then once you eat my drugs, I'm going to take it away out of anger. Then bathe the world in fire. Then get bored with having the world to myself. Just give it back to you and start shitting on things from heaven above.
Okay. Yeah.
After the first law charade was acted out in horrifying detail, it was pathetic.
If you want horrifying detail, we can give you horrifying detail.
And that's whenever they decided to suck one of the eyeballs out. Then someone decided to rub it against their clit while it was still breathing and kicking. And then they squeezed it till its intestines popped out of its ass. With one of the volunteers yelling, "Kill the baby!" Oh, that's funny, because Danima sent me a meme that was all about eating babies. It was great.
I want to eat a baby tonight.
I'll describe it to you later, because all I remember was that the line was funny, but I just really liked the fact it was like this nun eating a baby. And this chick walked in like, "Oh my God." And I was like, yeah, you might have to eat her too.
Or you could always brainwash her into your baby eating cult.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you are a nun after all. You should know enough about the religion in order to get the cult going.
You know eating it, and then they fucking have baby eating orgies together.
Yeah.
And now I have images in my head.
We just sit there and wait, a few months, and then once the baby pops out, we just steak it and cook it and eat. Oh hell, don't even bother cooking it. Just eat it while it's still crying there. Its first breath of air.
I just have two images of two women fucking while they eat a baby.
Weinstein explained, "This is fucking bad shit. A lot of times they will create laws to make you think that this is some epidemic that needs to be addressed. It would be in my world." Because the guy after me would probably say, "Dear God, you did what? Fuck!
Will the fetus be aborted?" Oh.
I mean, unless he was a direct disciple of me, which is doubtful, I'll probably be removed by violent revolution as the entire world united to eliminate me.
Well, I'm not a direct disciple of you, and I see nothing wrong with this.
I know.
More of a kindred spirit.
Sarah Silverman blurted out, "If anything has ever made me want to eat an aborted fetus, it's this law." I wanted to eat an aborted fetus because I'm curious. And didn't you hear the tale of Boink where, like, you have to abort your firstborn and your holy symbol as one of his clerics is the aborted fetus of your firstborn with the hook through its head?
What was the cover of that hardcore punk record with a baby with like a hook through its skull? And then there was Johnny Coathanger and the Abortions.
What about Butchered at Birth? That's how a kitchen should be run.
I'm gonna find that album cover really quick.
The law in question, legislated in Oklahoma, was created in response to a claim that a food lab was considering using stem cells to create artificial flavors.
It's not even fucking it's stem cells. Stem cells are blank cells.
Yeah, science. God, I remember when I was so well read on this that I could say a million or more things about it and go into detail. And now I've been reduced to just saying science, you fuckers.
Say it right.
Just because I still remember enough that, like, it's there to know that this is hurting my brain. Why?
And Mobius wants you to fucking put stem cells in the food.
Yes, Mobius wants that. The second charade brought on another ghoulish rant about aborted fetuses from Silverman. fucking funerals for fucking aborted fetuses? I would agree with that statement. I would like to see
it was a
those
switchblade.
funerals.
It was a switchblade through a baby's skull, and it was a band called the FUs. The FUs.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's the fuck ups. It's not the FUs, it's the fuck ups. The FU-82 EP had a switchblade through a baby's skull, and hardcore punk had some great fucking. Remember the one with the murder scene?
Yeah.
And Tristan was like, "Ugh."
Mm-hmm. He lived the way he died. He died the way he lived. The size of a sesame seed with no discerning brain function. God,
Good.
you call that offensive? You call that offensive?
What's to be missed?
The size of a sesame seed with no discerning brain function. No, it should be.
Wait,
He gave
Anna,
up that silent scream, garbling up as his intestines were shoved through his own mouth and popped out as they fucking skull raped his eye sockets.
in all honesty, in all seriousness, he's not a human. It's a fucking thing. It's just it's a fucking bundle of thing with no brain or anything. It's not human. Okay, a fetus is not.
Yeah, but they're
a
the ones
person.
that brought up ghoulish rant. I'm trying to fucking go further.
Yeah, but I'm being honest. I'm being serious right now.
That's
They're
what
not.
you're fucking. I know, but like, I know that that's legit, but like, first off, it's not even a funny joke, okay? Because, if you're gonna joke about something like that, might as well just go off the deep end and piss off as many people as
Yeah,
possible.
but they're not going to.
Because they're pussies. So I find fault with Silverman. But I also find fault with the author of this article because I think that's actually ghoulish.
Well, it's ghoulish. This is life news. Who think that as soon as sperm meets egg, you've got a fully thinking person. And it's funny about Republicans because the life of the unborn child is sacred, but once they're born, fuck them until they get to 18 and they can be drafted. Or
Yeah.
we don't have draft, but join the army. So I mean, I just a fetus is not a human. A fetus is a ball of gunk. Eat it.
Mark Hamill is also present.
Oh, General Crozier.
Mm-hmm. And fucking someone I can actually kind of respect. The Star Wars actor.
Take them out.
The Star Wars actor spent most of the live stream creating 2 pieces of art to be auctioned off, which were to be presented at the end of the show.
No, he's General Crozier.
Hamill also announced that Disney gave us a Last Jedi poster. When we figured out who wins, I'll personalize it. I'll write something obscene and dirty if you want.
Just write something about General.
That sounds like him. He just doesn't give a shit.
I don't know anything about. Wait, did he play General Crozier or did he play someone else?
I forget who he played on Metalocalypse. I just appreciated his work because he does a good job. Like I saw about Wing Commander and a few other games.
I've never played Wing Commander.
Wait, Disney donated to Lady Part's Justice League. Yes, and they're monopolizing the entire media industry. Enjoy. I could hardly.
Yeah, they just bought Fox Sports or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Or was it Fox that bought ESPN? I can't remember.
Winstead laughed and announced jokingly, Mark Hamill is actually going to become an abortion provider. He'll give you an abortion with a Jedi wand.
Okay.
You're lame. It's a lightsaber.
Jedi wand.
A much cooler aspect. Just wow.
Jedi wand. I always thought it was called whatever you just said.
Yeah. Lightsaber.
Whatever.
It's part of pop culture. You should know this.
I hate pop culture.
It's going to be awesome. Towards the
Oh,
end
I'm
of the
sorry. Mark Hamill was Senator Stampingston. Gentlemen, it has come to our attention that I must perform an abortion.
yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. It was Senator Stampingston.
Towards the end of the
General
live stream,
Crozier. Yeah.
I just love the fact that like this person's so pathetic. Jedi wand. I don't know what the fuck I'm
General
talking
Crozier's General Crozier's voiced by someone named Victor Brandt.
about.
But yeah, okay. I get them confused because I had no fucking idea who Mark Hamill was until Metalocalypse, because I'm out of touch. And
Towards the end of the live stream, Winstead started to cry as she spoke out about abortion providers. These people that provide this amazing care for people are demonized and shunned, and they provide literally a pathway to someone's life every single day.
well, I mean, if you want to get an abortion, get a fucking abortion. I mean, there are health reasons, and there are reasons you're supposed to carry this thing around for 9 months, then put it in a shitty adoption home where it's going to get raped and abused. Because adoption homes suck. I mean,
Yeah.
people think adoption homes. Well, it's a happy place. No, it's fucking miserable.
Yeah, it's fucking miserable. It's better than alternatives like letting them starve to death in the streets, but
or taking care of them when you don't have the means and you don't want to. But adoption homes, I've fucking been in some. Basically, the kids cry themselves to sleep at night because most have had fucked up childhoods, and the others don't know their parents, so they cry themselves to sleep at night. It's depressing. It's not a happy place.
Nah.
And the abuse that goes on in there because no one fucking checks.
I mean, legit, people just don't like looking at the lesser of two evils. Because if everything is evil, then, you just damn it all.
Fuck it, you're canceling out a miserable life.
Yes, euthanize them.
Yes.
Preemptively.
Ooh, I wish I could do that to so many people.
This is a preemptive euthanasia.
Then again,
Bang!
there wouldn't be any fucking people left.
Yes, I know. Because we'd have gone back to the source and fucking killed mitochondrial Eve.
Yes, we would have killed Adam.
And
Fuck you, Adam.
Our species.
Unless you're Adam Savage. But you're not Adam Savage, so fuck you.
Here I am talking actual science, and you're going off on religion. Okay. And then went to some guy named Savage, whatever.
And the Mythbusters, you fucking moron. Adam Savage. Of course, I'm talking about religion because this is life news. Yeah. You got to get all Jeebusy if you want to get this life news.
And if we let them have to provide the care and defend what they do, when we've all used it to become better people, we're doing a disservice to our society. So that's why we do the work.
Fuck it.
I mean, people who won't telethon were mostly pussies, but whatever. Yeah, fuck it.
I would have my own telethon. This is what we're gonna do with your aborted fetus.
We're gonna dress it up in a little hat and give it a little cane and put marionette strings on it.
Hi, I'm Gay the fetus.
All right. Are you confident in your ability to defend the unborn? No, I'm confident in my ability to hook them and use them as fishing bait.
The fish are like, I smell a baby.
Yeah. Bet you I could catch a real behemoth with that aborted fetus, man.
Gotta hook them just right, though.
The picture of this one, dear God, it's fucking awesome. That would catch me a big fucking mouth bass.
I mean, if you don't want to have an abortion, then don't fucking have an abortion. I just don't want people to force their beliefs on me. If you don't want to have an abortion, you don't have to have one. Fine.
Exactly. Do it, you know. Now it's raised the fucking, you have the fun of making it. Now you have the fun of raising it. And that's what I'm going to live by as best I can, because I have no actual call over the woman's body, but, you know, I'm going to state my piece, and she's going to do whatever the hell she wants anyway.
Yeah, if she wants to get an abortion, then I'm not going to stand in her way because that's her decision. But if she wants to keep it, but the way
I'm not going to stand in her way. I might decide to leave her if she gets all pissy, but, you know.
I mean, I know people who've had abortions.
Like, you know, that's just one less guy in your life. Then fuck it.
I know people who've had abortions before, and you know, they're just okay. It was kind of traumatic, but it kind of wasn't.
That's why I enjoy fucking them sterilized chicks. Ain't got to worry about the fucking pregnancy, and this doesn't become a problem.
Well, that's why you just shoot your balls off. Sterilization the fun way.
Yeah, I gotta get insurance so I can get sterilized.
Just shoot your balls off.
No,
say you were a combat wounded veteran. What? The Cola Wars.
The Cola Wars. Fuck you. Anyway, that's it from me.
I love some of the I'm gonna kill you. Anyway, this has been the Aborted Fetus Power Hour. Otherwise known as the Swine Brothers Show. Episode 138 for the 7/8 of February, because it's the 8th now, of February 2018. You can contact the show if you're an aborted fetus at cosmicgodsdie@gmail.com. My aborted fetus Twitter account is SwineBros666, and Facebook is Swine Brothers. Yeah. For Jim, for Gary the fetus, I'm Elliot Lindemood.
Humans, that's good eating.